Yo, what's up YouTube? Sharp here, bringing you guys my second MW3 gameplay. And today we are playing on Outpost, and I'm using the Type 95, which a lot of you guys are probably looking at it saying, this looks like the FAMAS for MW2, and it pretty much is. I don't know why they didn't name it the FAMAS. It shoots just like, it's a burst gun. Uh, Most of the time you get one or two bursts. It's never like it's never really at three bursts. You know, people die quick in this game already, and this gun is pretty powerful. In my opinion, I haven't unlocked all the guns. I haven't used the AK-47. Someone told me that the last assault rifle you get is actually really good, but I haven't used AK-47 or that assault rifle. But in my opinion, this is probably one of the best guns in the game, and you'll be seeing this gun used a lot, just because everyone usually likes the burst fire guns. I haven't really gotten to use the ACR too much, so I'm not sure. Not sure how it compares to the ACR. I haven't used the ACR a lot because I've been using this gun to try to get it gold camo. You unlock this at like level 35, I believe, and you unlock the ACR at like level 50. So I've been using this like for so long, and I was so close to getting gold camo. And I mean, I actually did get it, but I just was like, you know, I want to finish this out. I want to get the gold camo before I start using other guns. So ACR. Haven't really used it, but I'll get a gameplay of ACR and I'll post it up and I'll give my opinion on that. This is just my opinion on this. You know, best gun or close to the best gun in the game. That's my prediction for it. So we're playing on this snowy map, Outpost. You know, I think this is the only snowy map in the game. I'm not too psyched about snowy maps. You know, I think it makes the color look shitty and all this other stuff, but you know, it's a snowy map, and it's only one of them. The couple of times I played this map, I wasn't too big of a fan of it, just because it seems like there's a lot of corners. That's the way it is with every map. If you've watched my last com, a lot of corners everywhere. People are always hiding in these little corners, and once again, the map is just full of alleys. You know, there's an alley on the far right side, there's an alley down the middle, and there's like an alley on the left. And so you always have to go through these little alleys, these little corridors, and there's always people just hiding behind barrels and all this other stuff. You know, I think they could have, made a couple maps a little bit different. You know, there are some maps that aren't all alleys, but for the majority, I think they went a little overkill with the way they designed the maps, trying to make it all close quarters. You know, which I'm not opposed of, because I really do like using SMGs. Maybe I was just annoyed by it because I was using this gun, and that's why I think that this gun's not going to be overpowered. For those of you who subscribe to me for MLG, I think this is going to be a really competitive game. It's going to be good for MLG, just because I don't think they'll have, one dominant gun. You know, this gun will be, I think it'll be more like COD 4 was. You know, this gun will be for the people who want to slay and post up. And then people running SMGs will be able to run and gun as they please. You know, the MP5 is good. The UMP is good, but so far the best SMG I've used is the P90. It just, when you burst fire it from long range, you can just take out anyone. It has good hip. I mean, it has good hip fire and it has a good fire rate. So it's always good up close, and it's good from long range. So, and this gun's absolute shit up close. You know, if you're trying to kill someone up close, unless you get a lucky hip fire, you're not really going to kill anybody. But I'm using Stalker right now. This gun will be a lot different. It would be a whole lot different gameplay if I wasn't using Stalker. And what Stalker does is, when I'm walking around the map aimed in, my guy walks around as he's walking like normally. So when I'm aiming in, he's going around really fast instead of a slow creep. So I think that's going to change it, because Stalker is in the place of Ninja. So I don't really see too many people using Stalker. Everyone's going to be using Ninja. I haven't gotten a chance to use Sitrep. The big talk about Sitrep is that it completely cancels out Ninja. But I don't really see the point in that, because it's not like everyone's going to be wearing Sitrep. So if you're canceling out someone else's Ninja, then you're being hurt. I don't understand why everyone wouldn't just use Ninja. So I'm guessing everyone's just going to use Ninja or Dead Silence. I don't really even know what it's called. I think it's Dead Silence in this game. But I think everyone's going to be using that. So my main, the main perks I think everyone's going to be using is, first perk is Sleight of Hand, or for the people running objective, I get a nice little 3-piece right there, looking for the 4. But the main objective player is probably going to be using Extreme Conditioning. That's for the first perk. And then everyone else will be running the Sleight of Hand as usual. And then second perk, I think everyone is going to use quick draw. There's not really another second perk that I think really anyone's going to be using besides quick draw. And what quick draw does is it makes you throw your stuns and your nades faster, and it makes you bring up your aim down sights quicker. So everyone's going to be using that for second perk, and then the third perk I think is going to be ninja. So the only variation you're going to see in MLG is with the first perk, whether someone's going to be using extreme conditioning. Maybe on domination, people are going to use scavenger. You know, I know a lot of people did that in Black Ops. I was never a fan of that. You know, because you can pick up extra nades. I don't know why I never use that, but I think people use that, extreme conditioning, and sleight of hand. The reticles in this game, I was kind of mad about, because if you guys watch my Black Ops gameplay, just about every gameplay I'm using a different reticle. I have like a hard on, or a dot, or lines with dot, or like the bow. There's like a smiley face. And this one, the reticles are just shit. Like, it's like some like half circle, an arrow. There's one that's like, it looks kind of like the holographic reticle. It's just like a circle with a dot in the middle. But the reticles are pretty useless. I was pretty disappointed with the customization they did on this game. You know, obviously it's a lot easier to get gold camo, but the gold camo that you can get looks like shit. Like, it doesn't even shine. It's not even that good in my opinion. I think they need to do something to change that. Even though it's not that hard to get gold camo, you can just get it either way. But my personal opinion, I think red or blue looks better than gold on this game. It's nothing like Black Ops or any of the other games. But yeah, the customization, you know, there's no face paint. I don't know if they'll add that. I doubt they will. There's no lens color, and the reticles, there's like 6 reticles to choose from. So I think they were kind of lazy on that part, didn't really think it through, because I think that was one of the things I really liked about Black Ops, is the fact that you could customize so much stuff. Emblem, once again, there's no emblem. There's no like customized emblem where you can make your own. Which I guess is good for their point, because you don't have like someone making an emblem of someone getting raped in the butt. But then, you know, there's people that make actual real emblems, and that they can't now, because it's like the ones you unlock. The way it was in MW2, there's a call sign and there's an emblem. Once again, they're dumbing down the customization. There's not much there. But, you know, it's a good game. I like this game. A lot of you guys, I was live streaming it on Ustream, and they actually banned me. I was live streaming all day yesterday, or not yesterday, Friday, and they actually banned me for streaming it, just because, you know, I got the game early and I was streaming it early. That's why I did it on Ustream and not Twitch TV. But I was live streaming. A lot of you guys were asking about the prestige tokens and how they work. Now, the prestige tokens, you get them if you went all the way to prestige 10 on like Call of Duty 4, then that doesn't give you 10 prestige tokens. It gives you 1. All you had to do is prestige once on each game, and you got 1 prestige token. So if you went prestige on Black Ops, MW2, World at War, and COD 4, then that would give you 4 prestige tokens as soon as you pop the game in. Now, me, I was playing on PlayStation, so I'd only gone prestige on Black Ops. So I had 1 prestige token, and what I used it on was 2 hours of double XP. As soon as I got the game, I was like, you know what, I want to rank up fast, get those 2 hours of double XP. Didn't really care about the extra class, just because in MLG you only have 5 classes anyway. You don't have the extra class, so I'm just used to changing my classes a lot. You know, it's not really that big of a deal to me. And you'll notice right here the EMP. They have EMP grenades, and it's like really easy to get EMP. I'm just gonna go off subject right here. I don't really like how they did it where it's so easy for people to get EMPs, because when you're playing pubs, you're just going to get EMP'd so much. It's ridiculous. You know, you lose your red dot sight and all your air support goes down. There's games, like I used EMP one time and I think I called it in 5 times in one game. You know, it's ridiculous. That's a minute without any electronics, no red dot sight, no air support, no nothing. I don't really like that too much, just because it makes my screen look annoying and has all the fuzzy stuff on it. But let's get back on subject. We were talking about competitive and the way like customization, and honestly, a lot of you guys were asking, or no, we were talking about the prestige tokens. Yeah, prestige tokens. So the tokens are let's see, you got the double XP, and then you can get 2 hours of double XP for your weapon to rank up. Each weapon has individual levels. I'll talk about that in another video. But each weapon has its own individual levels that you have to rank up, and that's actually how you unlock camos. And the way you unlock guns is just by leveling up, like by killing people. So like every time you get a kill, you get a certain amount of XP towards your gun. I'm not really sure how much XP or how it works, but that's how it is. And the highest level your gun can go is level 31, and when you get to 31, then you get gold camo, or as I like to say, dirty brown camo. But whatever. So yeah, double XP for weapons. I don't really see that being one of the more bought prestige tokens, just because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of useless in my opinion. It's kind of easy to rank up your guns. I don't think you need double XP to do it. And then the one after that, there's like 3 of them where you get a call sign and emblem. Yeah, I might buy those depending on what the call sign and emblem are. I know everyone's gonna have them, so it's not gonna be like something unique. Everyone's going to go and buy those. One of them is when you get to 10th prestige, you can reset all your stats. I think that's pretty cool. You know, if you don't like your KD after you get to 10th prestige, and you can just reset. You know, you start out the game, you're new to COD, you play. You know, you're not that good. By the time you get to 10th prestige, and you're like, you know what, I'm good. I can increase my stats. I wish I didn't start out so bad. That's kind of how I was in COD 4. When I first got COD 4, that was the first Call of Duty I played. I wasn't really that good at it. When I first started out, but then I started playing. I went all the way to 10th prestige. I'm like, my stats are shitty. Like I have some pretty bad stats. I wish you could go back and reset your stats. So I think that's pretty cool they added that. The prestige token that I think is going to be most used most used for me at least, is the one where you can carry a new gun into your prestiges. So say once I get all the way up to where I'm going to prestige. I go prestige, and it lets you keep a gun. So I could keep this gun, the Type 95, into the next prestige. I could use this gun at level 1 first prestige, which I think a lot of people, or for me, that's the most I'm going to be using, just because I think you'd be able to rank up faster if you had a better gun at the lower prestiges. You know, it'd be, if there's a gun you really like, you can just play with it all the time. You know, you can use your P90 or Type 95, whatever, M16. Well, you start out with the M16. I don't know why anyone would do that. But I think more people are going to be going with the later guns you unlock, like ACR or Type 95. And I also heard that the last assault rifle you unlock is actually pretty good. So that's the prestige tokens in a nutshell. It's pretty interesting they added those. A lot of you guys were asking about the leaderboards. And if you watch the live stream, there actually are no leaderboards right now for when you're playing the game early. So I can't really give you guys any insight on leaderboards. And here's overtime demolition. I talked about this in my last video. This is overtime demolition. You see the bomb right in the middle of the map. Everyone on my team has a bomb. Everyone on the other team has a bomb. And so it's just whoever can plant the bomb and blow it up first actually wins the overtime, which I think it will change demolition and actually make it competitive, because it's not going to be one-sided. You know, before it was just a one-sided game. Whoever had offense would win, or whoever had defense would win, so people would just play for that. So I think it's going to be interesting. Have that. A lot of you guys are asking what I thought this would be for MLG and GB. I think this will probably be. I don't think it can compare to COD 4. You know, COD 4. I know a lot of you guys right now that are new to MLG didn't play COD 4 competitively, but for those of you that did, there will never be anything that was like COD 4, like competitive playing GBs. At least for me, like that's when I had fun playing GBs. I mean, I still have fun getting on and screwing my team, but I don't have fun playing GBs. Like COD 4 was just naturally a fun game to play. It was, I don't know why, it was just really like a fun game to play. And I think, Infinity Ward's trying to get back to that, making this game. You see we win the OT right there. This game plays over 2-1. I think this will be a good MLG competitive game. That's my opinion. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to be uploading more and more. If you guys like this commentary and this gameplay, please give it a like and add it to your favorites, because it helps me out, helps me get my name out there, helps make my channel bigger and all that stuff. And I know you guys want to help me because you guys love me. But this is Sharp. I'm out. Peace.